Styles in Star Trek 3. How can you have a yellow alert in space dock?
What the f*** is this piece of...
Perhaps you saw my short leading up to this review. I simply said, it's better. If you read into that enough, you may have realized I didn't say it was good. I didn't say it was perfect. I also didn't say it was bad. I just said it was better. It's not hard to be better than the last 2 seasons of Star Trek Picard. Full disclaimer, I wasn't the biggest fan of the first 2 seasons. Maybe you were. I think in general, even if you were a fan of the first 2 seasons, you may feel at home here. I also feel that this season, just based purely off the first episode, casts a wider net. It's a bigger tent. It's a bigger party. And hopefully we're all in it. Because this episode, as I said, was better. Take that for what you will. Just to be upfront, I did check out a lot of reviews for this beforehand. To get it out of the way, I was a little bit disappointed by what was on offer. Some of these reviews would have me believe this is the best show ever. This is classic Trek is back, as it were. I did not feel that. This first episode, I liked it more, but it played into a lot of the tired old tropes of the first 2 seasons. If you like those seasons, you're at home here. However, there was a lot sprinkled in for me. Me specifically, and probably also the classic Trek fans. It came off as superficial, but at this point, if you throw me a bone, I'm willing to chew on it. I'll take simple and superficial any day over Star Trek Picard Season 2 or Season 1. But that's just me. Now that we've covered that, let's dig down into the meat of this episode. What's it about? What's its themes? What's it sound like? What's it look like? I'm happy to say we're winning on most of these fronts. Whereas in the past 2 seasons, we lost on basically all these fronts. Here, we're putting up a good defense, you know. We're rounding it out. We're shoring it up. We're building a defensible position, which is to say, we could be building a foundation for a Star Trek Titan show. Is that what we're doing? Is Picard just a springboard for Star Trek Titan? Sad to see the original Titan go. Fan favorite design. Here comes its show. Sorry, we're replacing it with the Neo Constitution class. I don't know. I don't like these ideas of the Neo something class. What was the first ship in this class called? The Neo Constitution? The U.S.S. Neo Constitution. That's what you would have me believe. Riker literally said it. Neo Constitution class. I think that's really what it's called. But if this is the first ship of its class, shouldn't it be the Titan class? I don't know. I only knew how Star Trek used to work, but I guess I gotta get with the times and realize how it works now. You would think this episode would take place directly after Season 2. Guys, this kind of ignores the first 2 seasons. I think you could just about show somebody this season and pretend it's the first one. I don't think they need to see the first 2 seasons. I think this one kind of throws them out. Imagine creating a new vehicle for Picard in 3 short seasons of a show and not having it planned out at all, and then throwing everything out after the end of every season. Sound logical? At the end of Season 2, spoilers if you haven't seen it, we encounter this world-ending event that we're all supposed to be amazed by as it appears at the very end and then at the beginning, and it's this time loop plot, and the Borg are now nice and they're trying to help us defeat this wormhole thing blast. I don't know. The way Season 2 ended, it looked like it was setting up the fact that we're going to have to deal with that. It's not mentioned at all in this episode. It's gone. It's gone. Don't worry about it. The ending of season 2 never happened, guys. Unless it sneaks back in later. Never happened. And you would think with these types of shows being, 10-hour long movies, they would literally be finishing up what was left over from season 2. However, they're not. They're throwing it out. Let's hope they throw out some more things from those seasons as we go on. As it stands right now, this is very much a sequel to season 1 and 2 in tone, kind of, in effects, in style, in only the broadest scope. But plot-wise, it's not a sequel. You can go into this from seeing the first 2 seasons and not feel like you missed a beat. You can also go into this not having seen them and feel like you haven't missed anything. It's a win-win, I guess. I guess I should congratulate them for creating something that everybody can kind of watch. Like I said, a big tent. This episode starts with Beverly, who looks about 70% as awkward as you think she'd look, holding a phaser rifle and fending off unknown aliens. Terrible set design, dark, dim, smoky. At one time, Star Trek looked like Star Trek. Now this just looks like, I don't know, any low-rent TV show you'd see on the TV box in your living room when you're having your TV dinner. Dimly lit hallways. That's how you sell Star Trek. Beverly is fending these people off. We don't know who they are. Mysterious. Mystery box. Drip feed. We fend them off only to have Beverly send out one last communique to Picard's comm badge, which it's his Enterprise D comm badge. It hasn't been deactivated? You just let them take it home? And she says some kind of message like, Hellbird, Red Lady. I just said Red Lady. That's later. Forget I said that. I'm just so messed up with these Kurtzman Trek words like the Burn, the Red Angel, Hellbird. Crap. Anyway, trust no one, not even Starfleet. And then he's given data about where to go to rescue her, presumably. It's all very mysterious. I'm not supposed to know what it means. You're not supposed to know what it means. It's just there to drip feed you along for 10 episodes. And I'll tell you what, the way this episode begins, with the contemporary music playing in the background, I don't want to set the world on fire. I thought season 2 started like that with some other song, and then Discovery had it at some point, and that's... What is with the contemporary music sneaking into Star Trek? I don't know why we're doing that. I can make a compilation of it. Strange, lyrical, contemporary music sneaking into it. And it's supposed to be like... to set the mood. Maybe it's to give you a false sense of security. But it don't work on me. It just kind of makes my spine tingle with fear about what's about to happen. I'm battered, okay? I got hurt. Okay? I can misinterpret things. Sometimes something will come in good faith, and I'll misinterpret it as an attack, because I've been attacked twice already by this stupid show. So bear with me. What seems innocent in my hypervigilance may look malicious. So your mileage may vary. Picard gets this message. Beep, beep, beep. Computer, did you hear that? It's his badge. The first 13 minutes of this episode, exactly 13 minutes and 30 seconds, I remember I paused the episode. It was so bad. The first 13 minutes and 30 seconds exactly were so bad, they could have been from the worst days of Picard season 1 and season 2. I wanted to turn it off. I was close to turning it off, and I said, no, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to push through. We get past that 13 minutes, 30 seconds. If you have the episode, you'll know what happened. It's just flavor dialogue. It's just something straight out of the early Discovery Picard playbook. We have to live the lives that we chose. Yeah, screw off. Whatever, I don't want to hear that anymore. And thankfully, you kind of don't hear it after that point. We get into an episode with dialogue that's a lot less clunky than before. It's to the point. it fits. It makes sense. It's a little bit endearing, and it's maybe a little bit funny here and there, which is good. Picard meets Riker at I guess it's the 10 Forward bar, where they got the name for 10 Forward for the Enterprise. It was named after a bar, guys. Yeah. It wasn't the 10th deck forward. No. That's not how it got its name. It was a bar. Yeah, whatever. Okay? That's not real. That's not how it got its name. But we're there and we're looking at models of, guess what, ships. Okay? Nobody wants the Enterprise D, the fat one. Hey, that's Galaxy class to you. Riker is there. He's kind of holding our hand through this episode, right? Riker is there to guide the audience along. He's there to humanize it, and he's there to say, hey, I know what happened, but would you trust me this one last time? That's Riker's whole job in this episode. From a metaphysical point of view, I discovered. He's there to say what we want to say to the people of this world. Nobody wants the model for Frontier Day, by the way, celebrating 250 years of exploring the final frontier. Nobody wants the little trinkets of the Enterprise D. By the way, I have them all here. I'll show them to you in a minute. Just so you know, I ain't playing. In reality, everybody wants the D, baby. The Galaxy class is famous. Real life, that's the one that sells out first, if not the Constitution class. But they're literally the models that were sold by Eagle Moss and elsewhere. We bring this up with Riker. Riker, what am I going to do? I need to go to this system. I need to help Beverly. I haven't talked to her in 20 years for some reason. And I need to do this before I move to Child Talk 4. By the way, he's moving out with his new boo, that Romulan girl who's a leftover from the past 2 seasons. He's packing up his things, gets into the theme of the episode that I'll bring up later. Riker figures out, oh, Hellbird. That was the name of this virus that did something during Best of Both Worlds that added a 3 randomly to all these digits in their computer. And then if we add 3 to everything here, it gives us the location of the Righton system. Hellbird? Am I crazy? I don't remember that from Best of Both Worlds. Are we just kind of retconning something into it? It's kind of like... It's not really like a retcon. Maybe it was just something that happened off screen and we didn't notice, or something that wasn't important enough to actually be in the dialogue. You know what I mean? If we take it in context. But it gave me a bad feeling. I really don't want to go back and recontextualize old episodes. They're classics for a reason. Let's leave it alone. But we need to get to the Righton system. We found that out by adding a 3 to all these digits, like the Hellbird virus did in that episode. How are we going to get there? It's just outside Federation space. Of course it's just outside Federation space. Of course it is. How could it not be? It has to be outside Federation space. You could not have an episode were it not. I have a workaround. We're going to abuse the newly minted U.S.S. Titan, Riker's old command, except it's a totally different ship now. We're going to go in for a routine inspection, and guess what? We're just going to say, hey, let's take it to the Righton system, guys. Wouldn't it be cool if we took the ship to the Righton system? Am I right, guys? No. See, where these characters, Riker and Picard, will come off as annoying and stupid in Season 1 and Season 2, they're played off a little bit more endearing. The mistakes they make in dialogue, the turns of phrase that don't quite land, it's played off as your funny grandpa or uncle this time, and it works a lot better. Had this been Season 1, we would have just been yelling at Picard and screaming at him, calling names and dropping F-bombs, and Picard would just like, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't mean it. Picard is treated with a lot more reverence now, because he's an admiral. He's an admiral. Of course you're going to treat him well. But, evidently Season 1 didn't believe that. So, funny dialogue here, laughable situation there. dialogue between Picard and Riker that would come off as old friends. Were they old friends? They were a well-oiled machine, a partnership in TNG. Maybe not as close of friends as you would see them now. People do change. Time changes people. People look back at the hard times and laugh and say, those were the days. Maybe Picard and Riker would go back and say, the TNG days, when things really sometimes seem like life and death, those are the days, weren't they? And maybe Picard would agree. So maybe this is a moment of growth for Picard to just let loose a little bit. I'm starting to be okay with it. Originally I wasn't. But the lackadaisical Picard and the lackadaisical Riker now, it's not that bad. At worst, it just seems like Jonathan Frakes and Patrick Stewart playing themselves. At worst. How bad can that be, really, right? Your mileage may vary again. So we're going to try to sneak onto the U.S.S. Titan, posing that we're just the former captain and the admiral doing a routine inspection. What can go wrong? We meet Annika Hansen, or 7 of 9. The captain wants her to be called Annika for some reason. I guess that's his prerogative. I don't know. Why not? But we're meeting with the captain after we do our little tour of the bridge. I'm supposed to believe this bridge is this soaring, monumentous event when we see it. Wow. It looks just like the Stargazer Bridge, which looks just like if you closed your eyes. I'm on the Stargazer Bridge. Oh my God, I'm on the Titan Bridge. It's so awesome. I can't see anything. That's exactly what it's like. We look at Sydney LaForge, and I can't. I'm like, where are you? I almost can't see her. She's blending in. If ever there's been an argument for bright uniforms coming back, this is it. Because I can't see anybody on this bridge. I can't see anything. I felt bad for the work of like Michael Okuda, the set designers, and all that. You can't get a good enough feel for it. You can't get the spatial awareness. You need the light. I need light in this bridge to see what's going on. I don't need it to be blindingly bright, but I need to see where people are. You know, a relaxed living room style light instead of the nightclub. You'll note that when they're actually at a bar, the lighting looks almost the same as when they're on the bridge. And nobody was like, this lighting's a little strange. It's kind of like we're at a nightclub. You know? Maybe we can brighten things up in here. I think brightening up the bridge is something new Trek fans, old Trek fans, and everyone in between, I think we can come together on that, can we? Can we all just say, brighten it up? Call me a dreamer. Maybe we can all get together and just say, let's brighten it up. Am I wrong? What do you think? We have to have dinner with the captain. We're going to break the news to him. We need to go to the writing system. It'll be so cool. We're going to show him what the Titan can do, the efficiency of the Titan. We're going to go there and back, and it's going to be wonderful. And, well, Captain Shaw is Captain Shaw. I loved him at first. He has a great energy. He has a great presence. He feels big in the room. He feels like he's in control. He inspires confidence. He comes off as a bit of a Jellicoe. He's a bit Jellicoe, we'll say, which is fine. And, he started eating before them. A few snide remarks here and there, whatever. But then he goes over the line, and he brings up the fact that he can't. He says ex-Borg around, I believe, 7 and also Picard. And I was just like, whoa. Why did you... Like, where'd that come from? Do they want me to not like him now? Like, that was... And Riker says that's enough. Which was Picard's line. Did you notice? Did you feel that? If you watch this episode, when Riker snaps back at Shaw, did you feel that was supposed to be Picard? Picard is the Admiral. He should have said, that's enough, Shaw. I'm Admiral Picard, you're Captain Shaw. Riker and Shaw are on equal footing here, but Picard is above them, technically. That felt like Picard's line. Whatever. But the captain and the first officer, they're one sleeps, one's awake. You never see one where you see the other. Are they the same person? What? You never see them in the same spot together? No. Shaw goes for his sleep on his shift. So, thank gosh, we have 7 in control now. Now what? We managed to convince 7 somehow to actually take the shades of Star Trek 3 here. We convince 7, who has just graduated, I assume, from an expedited or expedited Starfleet program, thrust her into the role of commander, an XO in this case. We convince her to, against the captain's wishes, take the ship far off course to the edge of Federation space on a whim from old Riker and Picard. It doesn't ring true to me. Of course, when we get to the writing system, Shaw wakes up. Somebody want to tell me what the hell I'm looking at? Styles in Star Trek 3. How can you have a yellow alert in space dock? Funny. It rhymes with old Star Trek. Doesn't make it good. Just because something has precedence, and I say this a lot, doesn't mean you can do it again. Just because we did it before doesn't mean it's good. Right? If a show, one of the curses of a long-running show like Star Trek, it's been around for 50 plus years, I can look back through decades of precedence to justify any stupid crap I want to shove in this episode. Bad way of thinking. Maybe you shouldn't be able to steal a ship that easily. It makes Shaw, in his first appearance, the way they wrote it, look mean and stupid. I liked him, and then now I guess I'm not supposed to. I don't know. Don't turn him into a villain. Please don't ruin him. We don't need another secret evil captain. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Just make him good. That's all we need. We see Riker's and Picard's shuttle dock to the Helios. That was the ship Beverly Crusher was on earlier, before she was waylaid by mysterious aliens. That look like garbage, by the way. They look cheap. As does most of the show. I think they spent their money on the ship CGI shots, which look a lot better now than before. We're giving people what they want. Ships in Star Trek. Who would have thunk it? That you should have lots of ships flying around in Star Trek. Who would have guessed that was a good idea for Star Trek? But it's back now in Season 3. We see the Helios, La Serena, Space Dock, which was looking awesome. Titan, of course. The ships are back. The Helios looks like some kind of NX class, but like different. And overall, I kind of liked it. But it's got the hallmarks of like bad New Trek design for ships. Like lots of lights everywhere that you don't need. Very angular for no reason. Anachronistic design choices, which means choices that seem irrelevant of the time period, or disregard the time period entirely, I should say. Just on face value, though, I think the ships look good, aside from the Titan. Titan is a bridge too far for me. I would have liked it if it was the Luna class still, but you take that for what you will. We try to rescue Beverly, okay? Beverly is in one of these frozen pods. Wouldn't it be great if we could leave Beverly like that? Picard's thinking. Just my perfect memory of Beverly there forever in that frozen pod. No, you can't do that. Her son is there. And it's not Wesley. Initially we think he's a villain, but he's not. He's our friend. He was protecting, I guess, Beverly from these aliens and froze her in this pod so that her injuries didn't kill her. Before she sent out that distress call, Myriad Codec, whatever that is, to Picard, to get him out here in the first place. Ooh, very mysterious. Wow. Wait a minute. Season 1, an android knew specifically to find Picard for help. Okay. Season 2, the Borg specifically called Picard for help at the beginning. Okay, that's interesting. Beverly knew to call specifically Picard for help. Huh. That's interesting. And most of the time, Starfleet can't be trusted. And there's little code words for everything. It's almost like this is New Trek. And we finish off with the blast doors opening to reveal a hideous ship, which I assume belongs to Vedic, which is our villain for this season. I'm assuming. Guys, it's the Scimitar. It's the Narada from 2009. You know, like, why? Come on. Like, it's just a big, scary ship. Ooh, I'm so scared. It's so big and angular. Guess what? This is New Trek. Starfleet's big and angular, too. We're going to have our own little angular off. Remember when we designed and we spent a long time working on creating the Stargazer for Season 2, and now it's just like, hey guys, where's the Stargazer? We probably spent a lot of time and money designing that. Where did it go? Anyone would have guessed this ship would have been the Stargazer, right? If you were thinking about how to design this new season, you would think it would be the Stargazer instead of the Titan. And the Titan would be a major part of the show, but would be the Luna class. You'd think it would work like that, but it didn't. We had the Neo Constitution class Titan. But that's enough rambling. That's our A plot. Our B plot takes place entirely with Raffi. And it's as nasty and boring and dumb and one note and repetitive as you'd imagine it to be. Raffi, you think Raffi? You think drugs, seedy underbelly. What's really going on? Starfleet intelligence. Oh my gosh, we're in the underground. That's what we want from Star Trek. She's milling around on some alien world that looks like a dump, talking to what I presume is her quote-unquote drug dealer. We find out later, thankfully, that she's still with Starfleet. Could have fooled me. I really believe that Raffi was back on the wagon, or is it off the wagon? I don't know. Only to find out she's using these drug connections to get information on secret goings-on behalf of our unknown enemies this season. This is Raffi, Starfleet intelligence. I need more money, blah, blah, blah. You know, she's not Section 31, but she's Starfleet intelligence. I guess it's the next best thing, depending on who you ask. We're trying to find out who stole this weapon from Daystrom. They call it Daystrom Station, but I assume this is connected to the Daystrom Institute. Somebody has stole some quote-unquote quantum tunneling weapon, whatever that means. This drug guy can only give her a Kurtzman clue, though. A Kurtzman clue is some interesting sounding word, like the Burn, Red Angel, Red Lady. This time it is Red Lady. They use red again. They couldn't even say blue or something. No, they said red. I guess it's from the monster maroon she wore, because this Red Lady is Rachel Garrett. The only thing this guy knew, this Orion guy knew, was that something was going to happen with the Red Lady. That's all I could say. And it cost a lot of money, I assume, to get that factoid out of him. And it took Raffi the entire episode of searching in La Serena's computers to figure out that the Red Lady was colloquially a statue of Rachel Garrett, captain of the Enterprise C. Oh my gosh, we need to go there. What's going to happen? We're just in time to see this stolen weapon be tested in front of the statue and around it. Some kind of Starfleet headquarters, Starfleet embassy, what have you. Doesn't matter. It's gone now, baby. It's just teleported into the ground and then teleported away a few feet. Miles? I don't know. And just dropped. Imagine picking up a building and then dropping it somewhere. Killing all the people inside. Terrifying. Is this the work of Vedic? Is she the one who stole this device? Is this indeed the full power of this device? Is this just a taste? Raffi had a front row seat view. And Raffi's entire B plot was, who stole the weapon? What's the Red Lady? Oh my gosh, I just saw the weapon be used. That's your B plot. Thanks, Raffi. So what you have here in total is admittedly an intriguing episode compared to anything that occurred in the last 2 seasons. I will say, I wanted it to continue. I watched the episode and I was thinking, oh no, it's over. Dang. Granted, that was par for the course for many decades. That was considered average. When you could create an episode that made someone excited enough to come back, that was the bog standard. We couldn't even hit that, in my case, for a lot of New Trek. We hit it this time, so I gotta give it some props. Although I'm disappointed that it wasn't the amazing thing I thought it was going to be, it's better. It casts a wide net, like I said before. Let's break down our themes, our sound, our visuals. Visuals, how can you lose, really? In this day and age, you're not going to get physical models. As far as a CGI-based ship show goes, this is as good as you're going to get right now. How can I call it anything less than perfect when you got space dock? We got all kinds of canon-looking ships, plausible ships flying around. I'm seeing examples of kit bashing. That's good. We're setting the design language of 2400. That's smart. You can see similar nacelle designs across all these different ships. I'm happy with that. Even if it looks like it's a little bit backwards, to me, the most advanced looking nacelle is still like the Sovereign class nacelle. It still looks the fanciest. I don't know. These nacelles look like a step backwards. You may think differently. We have scenes in the interior of these ships. We get to go to the bridge of the Titan. It's very dim, very dark. The one black mark visually for this show is that you can't see what's going on in the bridge. I would just trip over something and kill myself in 5 minutes on that bridge. Is it too much to ask for this lighting? It's not that bright. It's just kind of normal. I'm not gonna trip on something and break my head. Is that too much to ask? In the grand scheme of things, visually, you're getting a ship leaving space dock, looking in full brightness, illuminated properly. I gotta give it a thumbs up in that regard. Musically, this episode is a freaking jukebox. If this is a taste of what's coming for the whole season, I'm there for it, as the kids say. Musical transitions, little incidental pieces of music, past motifs sneaking in here and there at the opportune time. I'm hearing The Motion Picture. I'm hearing Next Gen. I'm hearing Star Trek 2 and 3 here and there. It's wonderful, but it's cheating. It's superficial, right? It's not original. How good can something be if it's not original at all? But I have to wonder, is this a play? Is this a work? Watch behind the scenes videos of different pieces of media you've seen. You'll often see them mention how we snuck things in. We would do things that were secretly a parody of ourselves. We would make a dig at a previous episode we did. We would have self-deprecating jokes embedded into the episode, played straight so that you didn't notice. We're straight up playing classic music from Star Trek now, with the Star Trek TNG style font everywhere. Is this a dig at the first 2 seasons that just eschewed a lot of the classic music, used their own track for the intro? Is that what this is saying? I do want to see a good original piece of music that really would have rounded it out, but for me, I'm easy. Hey, I'm easy. I'm sleazy and easy. You can win me over at music any day. So I'm going to have to go perfect on the music. Like I said in my short before I did this review, I did cry a little bit when I got to the ending. Let me set the table for you. I was watching on the big screen, in my quarters, of course, and I had the headphones on full blast, as loud as they can go. They start playing the First Contact theme. I love the First Contact theme, but it's not for me. You know what one's for me, right? I thought they were going to end it before it got to the TNG/TMP section, at the end of the Frontier theme, but they didn't. They kept it going. And it got to the TMP style, which is a little different from TNG. Looking at the LCARs, as soon as it switched over, they started showing the ships. And you could see the Voyager. You could see something that looked like it was Radio TOS. You could see Enterprise Refit. And the music, it just hit at just the right time. And I just felt my eye. And it was moist. Thematically, it's a little dry. But on repeat viewings, I thought I could taste notes of the theme of not resting on your laurels. What I mean by that is, it's not an accident that the episode begins with Admiral Picard packing up his belongings from the chateau. His famous Enterprise D painting, his Resican flute, all kinds of other little Easter eggs. I think I saw the Kurlan Neskar. Packing them up, saying, I don't want to live in these memories. I want a new adventure. He's giving them away. He's packing them up. Oh, give that painting to Geordi. Later on, when we're introduced to Shaw, we give Shaw a bottle of Chateau Picard. He puts it to the side and then kind of throws shade at it. I'm more of a whatever man. I forget what he said. We're taking the old, showing it, venerating it, putting it aside. It's time for something new. Fascinating from a show that's getting the band back together from TNG. What is it really saying? It feels like we're trying to get a theme across that should have been in the first 2 seasons. Couldn't get out of their way long enough to do it. Showing up at the last moment to say, it's time for something new. Is that new thing the Star Trek Titan show? Is that what it is? I don't know. But we also see that parallels that when we see Beverly's ship, the Helios. We also see Beverly's own museum to the past. We see acting masks that she had when she used to act in the holodeck plays and all that stuff. We see Jack Crusher's a box that he had. We're looking through people's belongings in this episode a lot. Just take a mental note of that. I think what this is saying, in a broader sense thematically, is that the artifacts of the past belong in the past. And what comes next is like a new adventure. And it's about not resting on your past successes. They go to that bar. Nobody wants the fat one. Nobody wants the Enterprise Ds, these little models. Riker is the voice of the audience. Hey, that's Galaxy Class. And we get to partake in that joy of the kids these days style mentality. And I think it was right. It was right for Picard and Riker to be in that place at this time. Not doddering, submissive weaklings who get yelled at. Instead, we're the venerated seniority who get to rightly complain about the rookies. Right? Who doesn't want to do that? I do it all the time. I ain't no rookie. I ain't green. I've been around the block. That was Star Trek Picard. Season 3, Episode 1. Is this really the final season? Is Season 4 going to be Star Trek Titan? I don't know. Do we want that? Let's brighten up the bridge a little bit. I think in total, what we have here is an episode that gets to the finish line, and then some. But not always in smart or meaningful ways. This episode, low on meaning, big on superficial spectacle, that gets me interested in at least. it's a big shiny thing shaking in front of me, and I'm gonna do some tricks for you. One trick I'm gonna do is give you a 6. I'm giving this episode a 6. It's not wonderful. It's okay. It's better than okay. I feel good. I want to give it a 6. Picard is a train. Normal Trek is a car. Like I said before. If I saw where this season was going already, I would be a lot more harsh on this. But I can't really see where it's going exactly. There's a lot of stuff that on first glance would seem obvious that I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt, despite this is the third time me being fooled, in light of the different behind the scenes facts surrounding this season. To leave it at that. I'm Lieutenant Mark. Did you like this episode? I kind of liked it. And I'll see you guys next time I see you.